I'm a Barbie fan, and I'm glad I was wrong about the new movie. Hopefully. I was wrong. I have been a massive Barbie fan for as long as I can remember. I'm not a doll collector or anything, but I did manage to get my hands on some rare Barbies when I was young, thanks to a very kind family member. I have no idea why she gave me them, because as you'd expect, the dolls are nowhere to be found now, sadly. But my biggest connection to Barbie was through her films. I grew up watching them, and I still put them on to this day whenever I need some cheering up. And even though the animation isn't that great, there was some surprising quality in a lot of them. The voice acting was good, there were celebrity voice actors like Tim Curry and Martin Short that did anything but phone it in, and most of the music actually holds up. I loved the Barbie films so much that I recently made an essay-worthy script voluntarily for my last Barbie video defending the films, so please check out that one if you're interested in what those movies were like. So because I'm such a big fan, the upcoming Warner Brothers Barbie movie is kind of a big deal for me. I've known about this film since I was still in high school, which was nearly a decade ago. So it's been in development for a long time. And for nearly 10 years, I've been dreading this movie like I used to dread peeling off a band-aid centimeter by centimeter as a kid. Yeah, I had no hope for this movie. Why? Mostly because it's a live-action comedy adaptation. In theory, there's nothing wrong with that, if handled correctly. But when I heard the news, any hope I had for this movie died instantly. I really expected Warner Brothers to go the raunchy, hard R rating route. I also thought that the movie would be making fun of Barbie and her fans in a mean-spirited way. But after finally being subjected to one of the trailers in the theater while watching the Mario movie, I can admit that I was wrong. Hopefully. Quick pause before I get into my thoughts for the trailers. Hello, I'm Rosie Vision, and I like looking at entertainment through rose-tinted glasses, because we all deserve some magic in our lives. If you'd like to join me on the journey to come, then please subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. Also, I just recently launched a Patreon, so I'll have the link to that in the description if you'd like to support the channel. Okay, let's get into it. So this is a very trivial note, but something that I thought was really cute. I liked how the Warner Brothers logo was changed to be Barbie pink. And it may seem like a really small thing, but it made me remember the times when companies would change the logos according to individual movies to make them feel more special. That still happens, but I feel like it's a lot more rare. So that was a really nice small touch that I liked. P.S. There might be slight background noises, thanks to planes, cars, cats, and all sorts of crazy stuff, but hopefully I'll be able to edit it out. Another cool attention to detail that I'm sure I was not the only one who noticed because it was very obvious, but still important to note, is that when Barbie removes her heels, she stands in the same way that Barbie dolls do, which kind of sets up the fact that this is in a doll world and not ours, I'm assuming. The first trailer goes a pretty humorous route that, once again, really sells that this is in a different world from our own. It was kind of a risky route that they took, but I think it paid off. The use of Richard Strauss worked surprisingly well. And also, like many other people, I really liked how they paid homage to the first Barbie doll in a way that showed just how influential she was, and in a humorous way, but not in a mean-spirited fashion either, so that was very much appreciated. And so far, contrary to what I believed this movie would be, it seems like everything is really lighthearted and fun, but in a family-friendly way, which I am so glad of. Like I said, I don't know why, but I just had a sneaking suspicion that this would be an adult film. And there's nothing wrong with that in theory, but I don't think it works out for Barbie, at least if you're trying to make something that'll make fans happy. I also really, really love the set that we've seen so far. There's pink sand, lots of plastic looking props, and the houses look like they're actual doll houses. And I'm not sure how they did it, but I also love the way that the skyline looks. It almost looks like a painted background that used to be used on sets back in the day. And the overall aesthetic of this film, at least in the doll world that we've seen, really sells the idea of a Barbie and is one of the more creative sets that I've seen in a really long time. Also, more on that note, I feel like the makeup and lighting really did wonders for this as well. Everyone sort of has a bit of an uncanny look to them, which makes them look more like dolls. And I'm just really impressed by how much that they've been able to capture the Barbie feeling without heavily relying on special effects or anything. It looks like most of this, if not all of it, is practical, or at least any CG that they are using is done in a way that you don't notice it at all. So I am really looking forward to this. I also love how it feels like the film is going to be self-aware while still taking pride in what it is. I remember when I first learned that this was going to be a comedy, the only way that I felt like it would actually work out is if it took a page from Life in the Dreamhouse's book. If you aren't familiar, Barbie Life in the Dreamhouse is a web series that was made quite some time ago now. The web series takes more of a comedic approach and follows Barbie and her friends and family in a reality TV show setting, sort of similar to stuff like The Office. And honestly, when I first saw it, I didn't really care for it, but rewatching it recently, I think it's actually a really good show. Similar to what I think I'm seeing from this movie, it really pokes fun at a lot of aspects of Barbie, her backstory, and the fact that they're dolls, but it does so in a really loving way and is still really entertaining, but gives older fans something to enjoy as well without taking away from the family aspect. And that really seems to be what I'm getting from these trailers, so thank God for that. I also really liked how it seems like everyone's being separated into either being called Barbie or Ken, unless I'm mistaken, because that really fits with the universe and how the dolls work, really. And it also makes sense considering the different kinds of variety that you'll find in the dolls, especially as of recent years. And it also leads to having a really varied and diverse cast while still paying homage and being really true to what the brand is, essentially. Yes, and something that I am really looking forward to. I really hope this film is as good as it's looking to be so far. But I am so glad that we have a major picture coming out that celebrates the traditionally girly and feminine side of things, because that is something that has been lacking in recent years. So I'm really glad to see it come back like this. There is nothing wrong with liking girly things, and it's not like it's an exclusively girl thing to do either. Pink glitter and frills are for everyone, and I really want to see more of it. And I really feel like this film is going to deliver on that front, so I'm really happy about that. I think it'll be a nice way to introduce the style of pink frills and glitter back into the popular zeitgeist. So yeah, we actually don't have too much to go off of from the trailers. There's only 2 up so far. Really, we just kind of get to see what the world looks like, get introduced to the characters, and I haven't looked up a synopsis or anything yet, but just going off of what I've seen in the trailers, I'm assuming Barbie and Ken go to the real world or human world and just kind of get up to crazy antics there based off of the sign that we see. And yeah, I'm actually pretty darn hopeful for this film. Fingers crossed. I really, really hope that it does well because I am a big Barbie fan. And I feel like even if I wasn't, this is a really fun looking film. And that's something that I think everyone can enjoy. I'm sure a lot of people are talking about the cast for this one. I really can't comment on that too much because I'm not too familiar with many actors that are popular today, at least. But just based off of what I've seen in the trailers, it looks like everyone's gonna be doing a great job of it. I really don't care in terms of like name who's playing who. Really, I just want the movie itself to be fun, and it looks like the actors that they chose are delivering, so I'm glad of that. So I guess it remains to be seen whether I was completely wrong or not, or if this movie is even gonna be any good, but it's looking pretty hopeful. And I guess I'll have to check in when I do get to see the movie later this year. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Once again, if you liked the video, then please subscribe so you don't miss any new ones. And I'm also curious to hear what you guys think of the new movie. Actually, I haven't heard too much discourse, but I have heard generally positive things so far, which is really exciting as a Barbie fan. I'd love for Barbie to be something positive and fun for the general masses. So, looking forward to it. And that'll about do it. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and don't forget to keep a little magic in your life.